With distribution, it's definitely changed since I've been doing it. I mean, it used to be a case of literally burning CDRs and handing them out in the street to people, and that's how you get your name out. So it was more of a local thing. Now we've got the ability now with Facebook and YouTube to get out there. You've got such a platform, and to get your stuff distributed, it's simply a case of uploading it to websites such as TuneCore, which is the one that I use, and then they distribute it to Spotify, Deezer, iTunes, Apple Music, and it's great because your music gets heard on a worldwide scale. So yeah, if any promoters want to book myself or my group corners, the best way to get in touch really is just Facebook or Twitter now really. Obviously I check those platforms daily, so people message me on there and I'm always able to get back to you straight away basically. With the BBC, it was simply a case of uploading my music to the BBC uploader, the BBC Introducing uploader. I think I sent them a track called Back, featuring my mate Drunken Master, and it's almost like they played it straight away, and they played that consecutively for a few weeks after that, and then got me on the show shortly after. Well, with regards to working with other artists, for me, at the moment, it's more local. I want to work with more local artists. Historically, I've worked with a lot of people that I consider some of the best artists in my genre, and that's just through hearing them and going to events and linking up with people and networking. But yeah, more recently, it's a case of just meeting people locally and wanting to work with younger local talent. I've been featured in magazines and newspapers. With newspapers, mainly local newspapers, over the releases I've put out over the years. With regards to magazines, there's not really that many real physical magazines around now really. I mean, Hip Hop Connection was a magazine back in the day, and they reviewed my projects a few times, but there's also a magazine called Wordplay Magazine, and they've supported me quite a lot. So yeah, but it's mainly online now really, isn't it? So. With regards to gigs outside of Macclesfield, I'd say that Manchester was the place that I've done the most gigs. More recently, I've done a few gigs down in London with my Corners group, and I find it fascinating that people actually know who I am down there and they know my lyrics, and that's something that I never ever thought would be, conceivable. With regards to working with other people, it's usually the same people that I work with, and the same people I have worked with for years. I mean, people tend to usually just send me ideas or drip feed me beats, and I'll just put them to one side and then slowly chip away at them. And then the release will take a direction on however that's sounding. I'll never really set out with a formula and think, I want this to sound like that. I mean, it just goes the way it goes, and then I'll create tracks around that. So it's usually the same people that send me the material really, and then we go from there. At the minute, I'm working on my solo album, Exceeding Expectations. I've been working on that now for about 4 or 5 years. It's been a long time coming, and since I started doing that, I've done the Brandy Night EP with Dan Ball and the Corners project. So yeah, there's been a few times when it's taken a back seat, but now that's my main focus now, and I'm just getting that out there, so look out for that. Music for me isn't a full-time thing. I do have a 9 to 5. I'd love it to be the case where it was a full-time thing, but I just don't see that happening really. I mean, especially with Spotify at the moment and the way the industry is at the minute. But yeah, I'll keep doing it. I'll do it for the love of it. I do make a bit of money off it, but usually the money that I do make off it goes back into creating the next project, and hopefully better in each project each time. With regards to other genres, I'm happy to work on all sorts of genres. I mean, I love to come outside of my little bubble, so to speak, and work on different styles of music. I mean, I've done stuff like trip-hoppy kind of things, and I've done more rocky and dubstep kind of things before, but I'd definitely like to work more with more bands and things like that, but it's whatever. I mean, like I say, I listen to all types of music, and I've got a very eclectic taste of music, so I don't pigeonhole myself as anything really. I just do what I do, but it's usually a pretty similar kind of sound, but I wouldn't say that that's something that I'm going to limit myself to going forward.